Hi, and welcome back to the channel. We are wrapping up book 3 of The Legend of Korra today. This is chapter 13 titled Venom of the Red Lotus. Venom, poison, there's some sort of difference there between the two.
Poison I think is ingested. So like if you lick
A poisonous
poisonous
frog?
frog,
Okay, yeah.
and then you have like a snake that is venomous because it has like it will be injected into you. It's like
Okay, yeah, the venomous bite.
yeah, like exactly. So I think it's by way of
How it gets into your system.
administration.
Yeah,
Is
okay.
what we say in like
But,
terms like.
but closely related at least. Venom, poison. They are giving Korra some sort of poison where they have her now in this cave. We have people going there to rescue her. We talked a little bit about, not on camera, but just between watching the episodes here, that, wait a minute, there are a handful of leaders-ish in this group on their way to rescue Korra. And we know that the Red Lotus, they want to get rid of the world leaders. Like we have Tonrock, we have Sue, and then Tenson in a way, just leader guide-ish thing for the Airbenders, for the Air Nation. And then Lynn, although she's not really a leader per se, like she is in a position of power in Republic City. So she's part of that hierarchy. So yeah, that just instantly made us afraid that we are gonna maybe lose some of them, or they're gonna try to take out some of them.
Yeah, that would just be another. I don't think that's okay. So sorry, I was just about to make a Danish expression and trying to translate it into some, but it doesn't work that well. I think, but like it's another tick, like another thing he can check off on his list. Like just you already gather all here. Then I just take all of you out, and then I'm already
making it easier for him or for them.
His checklist, yeah.
Basically, yeah. But it's all gonna depend on what it is that they're really doing with Korra, and what the goal is. Like, why not just kill her, or like what are they trying to achieve? Keep asking questions, but we should maybe just watch the freaking episode and then find out. So if you are ready, absolutely, then let's do it. And you can of course always check out our full length reactions where you can sync up the footage with your own copy of the episode. We also have early reactions for some of the shows that we're doing, including The Legend of Korra, where we are several episodes ahead. It's all over on Patreon, and the link is down in the description below. Here we go. Tissues ready? Tissues at the ready.
Once we administer this poison, your body will naturally react, forcing you into the Avatar state in an effort to keep you alive. You'll be entering it for the last time.
No!
Huh?
The Avatar cycle!
We will return to the true balance of natural order. And though you will never again be reborn, your name will echo throughout history. Korra, the last Avatar.
Okay. Jinora. Hey.
Did you find any way to escape? No,
Oh.
not yet.
They might not make it that long.
Oh no.
Korra will come to save us, right?
As soon as she's in the Avatar state, take her out.
Come on, Korra, fight.
The world doesn't need you anymore.
Huh.
The time of the Avatar is over, Korra.
There's no use fighting.
Let go.
Well, that's scary.
Fine. Now nobody gets any water.
Dick.
I don't know how we ended up here.
What? Oh, hey.
Yeah, hey.
Nice.
So glad you're safe.
Me too.
It's a good thing that Asami is holding on to that glove.
Yeah.
We have to get these two out of here now. They don't look so good.
What are you talking about? I feel great.
Come on, Korra.
Now, destroy the Avatar.
She can still defend herself. Oh, nice.
Well, she is in the Avatar state, so.
Yeah. She's the most vulnerable there, but also the most powerful. Boom. Alright. What are you gonna do now, Zaheer?
We have to help her.
You help Korra. We got this.
Okay, yeah. This reminds me of the Aang versus Osai battle.
Yeah, very.
Thank goodness you're all right.
Honey, are you okay?
I'll be fine.
We have to help Korra.
I think she's doing pretty alright.
What are you smiling about?
I was just remembering the last time we fought.
Well,
Come on,
A lot
Bolin!
has changed since then.
yeah. Okay. Maybe she could use a hand. Or maybe not. Ooh. Oh, fuck. The poison?
You can't fight me and the poison.
He's unlocked powers of airbending that haven't existed for thousands of years.
There haven't been this many airbenders in one place for a long time either. Hurry! Everyone form a circle. Follow me.
You have no water. It's over.
Not yet.
Oh no.
Now it's over.
Oh shit. Oh yeah, she did not know that he could do that. Yeah, don't fight water with fire, fight it with lightning.
Sure.
If I'm going down today, you're coming with me!
Dude. Alright, can't escape that. You are coming with me.
Sweetheart, it's me, Dad.
The poison's been in her system too long. The Red Lotus has won.
You can save her. The poison is metallic.
Come on.
There we go.
You're alive.
I'm here for you.
Chaos is the natural order of all. Whoa!
I put a sock in it.
Classic Bolin.
Put a sock in it.
I want you to know that I'm here for you. But let's just try to enjoy this today. For Jinora. You're right. Okay. Let's go.
For Jinora? She's getting her head shaved,
I
maybe?
think so. She's getting her tattoo?
Becoming a master?
You're looking stronger every day, Korra.
I'd like to officially welcome you back to Republic City. I know that the last time we saw each other, it didn't end on the best terms.
We should go inside.
I can help. I want to ride with Korra. Jinora's already inside. It smells like shoe trees.
And even with Zaheer locked up again, we still don't know how many Red Lotus members might be out there, hiding.
Exactly. Who will protect us while she's in a wheelchair?
What are you thinking, Tenzin?
Today we welcome the first airbending master in a generation, and I couldn't be more proud of my daughter. Thanks to her leadership, I see a very bright future for the Air Nation. I vow that we will do everything in our power to follow in your footsteps and bring harmony to the world. Now, let us anoint the master who will help lead us in our new path.
She looks like Aang.
A little bit, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That was a lot of emotion.
You would say that again?
But there we go. That was the end of book 3. Venom of the Red Lotus. Whew. I don't even have any words really right now. That just felt like a lot. A lot happened, and there was a lot at stake all the time, all the way through, I should rather say. And we just had everyone come together to try and help Korra, and Korra did her absolute best while still having to contend with this poison in her system. And then Jinora came up with a plan to really help her with the rest of the airbenders, and that kind of played into the ending with, okay, the Avatar is still very weak, so now we're gonna need someone else to help out and bring balance to the world. And the airbenders, they stepped up with Jinora leading them, maybe with Tenzin as well, because she's just become so wise, and rightly so. She got the tattoos, she got her head shaved. That was really beautiful. But still kind of like ending on a hopeful but also a kind of a somber down note, with seeing Korra shedding a tear. And we know that everything that went down during this book, like it's not completely resolved yet. Like there's a lot of chaos and disorder sowed by the Red Lotus and Zaheer. Zaheer is still alive, even though Bolin put a sock in it. But seems like, well, Ghassan is gone, and Minghua, she also kind of died there when he just brought down that whole cave, because he just did not want to go back to prison. So yeah, I don't know if we're going to see Zaheer again, at least, but we know they mentioned other members of the Red Lotus out there, so that's still going to be a threat when we move into book 4. And are we going to skip some time and then just get back to when Korra is at full strength, or are we going to follow Jinora for a little while instead as kind of the new main character who's going to go around the world and help people, looking very Aang-like. I know it's a young person or a child with a shaved head, same tattoos and the arrow, and same animation style, and so it kind of looks like Aang without, of course, that being necessarily the idea behind it. But
well,
yeah.
It is his granddaughter, right? So
Yeah, true that.
It would make sense that they look alike to a certain degree, because it's still 25% of his DNA.
Yeah. So what did you think of the ending to this one?
Very emotional.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of different ways. So emotional because, of course, Jinora was showing her true strength in like her leadership abilities and her abilities as an airbender master. And I think that was also very symbolic in a way that even though Zaheer was kind of like he's very well, clearly very good at airbending. He could not withstand a whole bunch of airbenders.
No.
And that you sometimes need someone to actually take the reins and be the one that says, "Hey guys, we do this."
Yes.
Sometimes you need someone. You can't just like have pure freedom and chaos and all people just going their own ways. Sometimes people need a nudge in the right direction, and Jinora just asserted herself to that. Like she just said, "Hey, we do this." And he cannot take out a whole bunch of airbenders. He might be a powerful airbender, but he can't take out a bunch of us. So we're just gonna...
He might be doing something that no airbender except one has been able to do. Or like we haven't seen anyone do something like this for thousands of years. But another thing that hasn't happened for a long while is this many airbenders being together. So let's take advantage of that. And she's guiding people and being a leader. And yes, as you're saying, that is something that we need sometimes in the world. Through a lot of it, we were saying that we understand Zaheer and the Red Lotus and what they want to achieve and can get behind some of it. But, it's just the methods they're in. And it's not that black and white in the way that just because you have leaders or people you look up to and people who are guiding others, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It can be a very good thing as well, because it's the same with humans, both in our world and in any fictional world. They have the capabilities to be both good and bad. So like you can never create the perfect world that's not going to have any suffering in there. So while once again we understand and kind of respect Zaheer in a certain way, it was never going to go his way. It was never going to become the world that he envisioned in that way, and that was never gonna be as balanced, I think, as he envisioned or as he thought, even though he was definitely 100% devoted to it.
Like there will always be because it's people, it's humans. There will always be someone who wants to take advantage of that state of chaos, and there will always be someone who is not like. So let's say Zaheer presents anarchy, right? And he believes in anarchy. And let's say he instills an order of anarchy. There will always be someone out there who's not an anarchist. And that will take advantage of a world in chaos. And will take advantage of a world without rules in that regard. And then they will assert themselves as being leaders. And they will take advantage of this, of these people without like rules and borders and everything.
Yeah.
And perhaps even enslave some of them into, not enslave in the classical sense, but like enslave it into like rules and hierarchy and stuff like that. And
will always crop up again. There will always be someone out there or some people who will try to assert themselves or like rise above everyone else.
Because we're power tripping. We be power tripping. We do that.
Yeah. But let's get into some Patreon questions here. The first one is from Austin D. Where do you see Korra's character going from here? Is the first question, at least. Well, as they told us towards the end, she's gonna need some time, it seems, and mentally as well as just physically. Like she's obviously in a wheelchair and her body has taken a toll, but like mentally, I think that's the biggest hurdle for her.
So my take is she actually is starting to believe Zaheer. That's my take. She's actually starting to believe him, because we saw that just before the poison or the venom, it kind of
affected her, or
completely took over or completely initiated the avatar state. She started seeing foes that she's been fighting before. Like she saw Aman, she saw Unalaq, and she saw Vatu. All of them saying that there is no need for her anymore, that she was obsolete in a way. And maybe she's starting to actually believe it herself, that maybe to actually hit that state of true balance, she's starting to believe Zaheer and starting to believe that maybe she needs to break the cycle herself.
She actually do need to become the last Avatar.
Yeah, and I think that's why she's so affected by it, because she's like fighting this, and she's like fighting those doubts or whatever he instilled in her, and she's because it's so hard, like the way I relate to it is like I've been severely depressed in my life. I have hit many times in my life where I felt obsolete and meaningless, and yeah, so that struggle with like, should I really do it? And that's when your survival instinct sometimes, that's what at least what talked me out of ever considering the big S. That's I've been you always yeah, it's a tough subject, but so you have this constant fighting with the sense telling you, like, your survival, like the instinct of survival telling you to survive all the time, like trying to rationalize that, hey, of course you need to live, you need to you need to fight this. We have that inner fight in us, and then we have the other side, like the doubt, the bad things, like the, hey, I'm meaningless, or I'm becoming obsolete, or I need to do this to for something greater. So that's even worse than just normal depression, I would say. And we know that she has had these thoughts before, and even that's once again my take, that she has had these feelings, these thoughts before, back in season 1 when her bending was taken away, and she shed that tear and that fell down. It was like a symbolic of, or like a symbol of like suicide or something like that. And yeah, at least that's how I read it and interpreted it. But so that's just my take. I know it was a long way around, but
No, I got it. I understand completely. And for some reason, I just didn't connect the dots there. That's just my brain not working optimally, I think.
It doesn't have to be like
no, but I just think you're onto something there. That's, now that I think of it, is quite obvious, in a sense that it's always been such a big part of her personally, her character, whatever you want to say, that she is the Avatar. That was her entire identity, and it almost made her give up, as you said back in book 1, when she lost her bending abilities, and then fortunately she was able to get them back. But now seeing a world where she might not be needed as an Avatar, and seeing that, okay, it might be beneficial to the balance of the world if I do become the last Avatar. So, and that's obviously why in the end, that yes, she was both happy and sad. Happy that these people are coming together, happy to see Jinora get celebrated in this way, and that the Airbenders are going to essentially do what she was supposed to do as an Avatar, but that also, in consequence of that, it makes her obsolete. It makes her as an Avatar obsolete, and we've already gotten to a point with her, because that happened in book 2, that, she can't even get in contact with the rest of the Avatars. She has sort of started a new cycle, but should she start a new cycle, or should she become the last Avatar? And how is that gonna happen? How is that gonna play out? Is she gonna approach Zaheer at some point and admit all of this to him? Because it seems like, yeah, he's still alive. Those are some big things.
Some heavy thoughts for like what is she, 17?
Yeah. Just taking all of that into consideration, that's I think you're really onto something, and that's what's going through Korra right now, like going through her mind right now, is those very conflicting feelings about her role, or the role of the Avatar inside of this world.
Damn, sorry, but this is really triggering.
It's a lot, yeah. Big themes. And okay, but Austin, he also has another question. Any guesses for what next season's villain will be like? I think, like, because you already mentioned, just with the chaos and the disorder that has been created already, the anarchy there, that someone is going to rise up and take advantage of that situation. And I could kind of see someone doing that. Maybe not someone that we know of, but just, yeah, that's how we are maybe introduced to a new villain. Is
Or maybe someone we actually know
or
of.
maybe it's someone we actually know of, and it's something that we don't see coming. Or
Maybe
it's more
it's
of
the
these
president.
red Lotus people out there. Maybe it's, the president is gonna go from being just an incompetent fool to actually being a sort of a villain. Yeah, we'll see. But I have a feeling someone is going to take advantage of this situation, and that's how a villain is born, a new villain for the last book. And then the next one from Shane Sadler. Were there any aspects of book 3 that you would have liked to see more of? I would have liked more of the spirits integrating with the world, and or more of Ba Sing Se's revolution, and more from the Red Lotus. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there, Shane. I do think, or I hope, that those things are something that we're going to see more of in the next book. But no, like beyond like just the start of this one, we didn't get a lot with the spirits and them reintegrating into the material world.
Yeah.
The focus kind of shifted away from that. And I'm sure there are still many cases around the world where that's an issue, because that was a big change, and one of the big reasons why this book was called Changes, because of what Korra did at the end of book 2. So yeah, I'm with you. Is there anything else you would have liked to see more of, or for them to dive deeper into?
I don't know. It's a little hard for me to wrap my head around right now.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I would have liked to have seen, because now we've obviously seen Republic City. We've seen a lot that has to do with both the Southern Water Tribe and the Northern Water Tribe. We saw Ba Sing Se, so the Earth Kingdom again. And inside of that, we also were introduced to Saufu. But we haven't really been spending time at all in the Fire Nation.
No.
So I would like to get into some more of that. See Zuko again, obviously, but also meet his daughter, the new Fire Lord.
Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Love to do that. And also to see, because I don't think we know, at least right now, whether or not someone like May might be alive. Perhaps, or maybe, the only people who are alive from that core group of people, or the characters that we know from The Last Airbender, is Zuko and Katara. Would also be nice to see those two just meet up again and talk about old times. But that's just the nostalgia inside of us, I think. But yeah, no, it's hard to just pick something right now, because so much just happened that we're still trying to process. Yeah, but I'm sure at least we're gonna dive into more Red Lotus stuff, because we know there are more of them out there, and then what's going on with Ba Sing Se, and how's that looking right now. All right, next one from Hydrusky96. Just something interesting to add. All of Korra's villains have targeted her for being the Avatar, and have continuously told her that she is needed. I think this plays into the finale, where Korra is in a wheelchair, is wheelchair bound, and told once again that she won't be needed, and that the Airbenders will take her place while she recovers. Well, Hydrusky, that's
exactly what we were talking about.
Exactly what we were talking about. So sorry, we just got a little bit ahead of you there, but yeah, you're definitely onto something, and I think that is really the core of it, is what's going on with Korra inside of her mind, and what her role is going to be, and what the Avatar's role is going to be going forward. Sorry, we already talked about it, but thank you for bringing it up again. That at least shows that we're not totally off with that. All right, from Eric Fielmich. This book is definitely a lot darker than the previous ones. Some of my questions are, first of all, how do you like The Legend of Korra so far? Compared to Atla, it's a lot more adult with its topics, and Korra doesn't have a clear-cut happy ending. Not so far, at least. So yeah, enjoying it a lot. It is different, but it is still inside of that world that we fell in love with Atla.
It's definitely two very different series. And I don't know, I think we pretty much agree on this, but that we appreciate each series for what it is and what it presents and what it brings, like
in its own way.
In its own way, because there's definitely a lot deeper things here, like and more fleshed out villains. There's a lot more gray areas, stuff like that, and it's much appreciated. But like it's two different series, and you have to see them as separate.
Doesn't like one doesn't take away from the other in any way. Like
Exactly.
they can coexist, and they have like different strengths and weaknesses for sure. What are your predictions for book 4, Balance? A little sad bonus fact. All of book 1 to book 3 all happened in 1 year. The villains definitely need to give Korra a break. Oh shit. Damn, yeah, that's a lot going on inside of just 1 year's time. I get why Korra is in the state that she is
Exhausted.
right now. Exhausted. But I think we already kind of mentioned like sort of our predictions for book 4. So, all right. Next question from Eric here. Lastly, Zaheer is only main Lotus baddie that survived. What do you think his role will be in the next book? I could see, as I mentioned, like Korra maybe seeking him out and talking to him about what she's feeling. So I think that's where he's going to come into play again.
Yeah, that it's going to be a long conversation between the two of them. A bit like Hannibal Lecter and Clarice in
a bit like that, maybe.
Just a bit,
not as
than...
messed up as
no.
What Hannibal did, but yeah, I see what you mean. There's also a nice fan-made edit of the last scene that shows, or that does an amazing job of showing how Korra is feeling at the end of book 3. There's a link. Okay, cool. Gonna have to check that one out. And then the last one here from V. Dalson. What an ending to a season. Change indeed. I find it a very bold choice to close it off on what is arguably Korra's lowest point, despite them technically winning in the end. Do you think more shows aimed at younger audiences should show the ramifications of physical conflict and how coming away the victor doesn't necessarily mean everything will go back to the way things were?
Yes.
Yes. That's a clear yes. We think that, kids or children, young people, like they can definitely handle that stuff. Like they're not, like it shouldn't all be, black and white and cookie cutter and the good guys just win in the end and then they live happily ever after. Like, no, we can get into some real consequences and real ramifications here and dive into, what it really means to be in this world, for example. And I think more shows should do that. And I also think that, through time, stuff like this, even though it's animated and for kids, like it has gotten more mature compared to what I watched as a kid myself. That's how I feel, at least. I don't know if that is the case or not, but yeah.
Trauma is a real thing, and I believe that kids should be aware of trauma from a fairly young age, and that the way that we all carry around trauma, and that you cannot always tell. For example, I don't think anybody could tell from Korra that she is fighting something inside, like mentally, that they all just like, she needs to heal, and she's still very, she's been going through a lot. And
But it was just the physical stuff. That was the only thing they addressed, right?
Basically, of course, I do believe that I also did understand that she was going through something mentally, because it's never easy, because also PTSD is a thing. I don't know, it was only like 2 weeks, so she wouldn't have time enough to process. Because the thing with PTSD, you cannot you cannot have it diagnosed before 3 months after, because it's a delayed response, and that's like a key factor in post-traumatic stress disorder.
Okay, yeah.
So it's definitely, you have to go longer than that, because then it's just still an acute stress response. And Korra is like 17 years old, And she's gone through a whole lot of this stuff, and especially like she has a lot of acute stress responses because, as someone pointed out in the questions, this has been going on over a year. Like the first 3 seasons, she's been fighting a whole lot of people.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to take on, even though you are like special superhuman. You're still human, and you still have human responses. You're still under a lot of stress, and you're still. It's a lot of trauma to process, and if you don't have time to process it thoroughly and not correctly, but at least accordingly, then you will develop some deep trauma on the long run as well. And I think it's incredibly important that we teach our kids to just like, I don't know, at least be presented with like trauma and people of trauma of some certain kinds. And yeah, it's hard. It's definitely a hard subject, but it's incredibly important that we learn to talk about this stuff so we can combat it.
Yeah, it's very real. It's very human. And while escapism can be nice, and it can be nice, watching this, like some stuff and escaping into worlds where it's more black and white, and we have the good guys, we have the bad guys. We don't have to contend with these complicated human emotions, but they are there, and we should learn how to talk about it, even with watching a fictional show like this. And also, the fact that it's not a weakness in the way that, like, if you feel these things, then you are wrong as a person. Like, I'm sure many people have felt that throughout life, that if I show weakness in any way, if I have any sort of trauma, like I need to just bury it deep down and just move on and be like these cookie cutter heroes that I see on television or in movies. But that's not how real people are. That's not how real people function. So showing something like that even to younger kids and making them realize that and think about it early on in their life, it's only going to help later on for them, like, to develop as people. And that is what art can do. That is what entertainment can do as well, beyond just entertaining us. It can make us think.
Yeah, it's I don't know about you guys, but I'm definitely a sucker for good stories, good good characteristic work, or
good character work.
Yeah, exactly. Character work. It's 3-dimensional stories and everything. That's what makes a brilliant, not just like a great story. You can make great stories with 2D characters and a 2D plot and whatever. But you make, once again, my take, you make brilliant storytelling when you add the deeper layers and the deeper thematics and meanings. And
it might be harder to process. It might be harder to understand. It might be harder to watch sometimes, but it's still some of that stuff that really, goes in and just pulls out at those strings and moves us as people.
And we need to give kids more credit because they pick up on this stuff. And I think it definitely helps them develop empathy, and it definitely helps them develop some sort of at least human understanding. And also, if not like helping them process their own emotions, then at least help them acknowledge other people's emotion.
True that. That's very, very important, being aware of these things. So yeah, it's a long way, again, of just saying that we are really enjoying the show and what they are presenting. And we think that, yes, that more shows or more kinds of entertainment shouldn't shy away from delving into stuff like this, even if it is for kids technically. But I think that's gonna do it, for this reaction and review of The Legend of Korra, Book 3, Chapter 13, Venom of the Red Lotus. We wrapped it up. We got one more book to go. Excited to get into that very, very soon. But yeah, thank you so much for watching as always, and we'll see you as soon as possible. Bye.
Bye.